What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're taking a look at something I didn't think I was going to be taking a look at, but I'm happy that we are. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new Jazware's Toys Pokemon Selects Target Trainer Team Series exclusive Charizard and Garchomp. And, you know, I wasn't going to get this because why the hell did they pack Garchomp in with Charizard? Charizard is the first figure in this line, and he flooded the shelves. And while I do think he's a fantastic figure, and honestly, I've reviewed every new character from this line as of now, he was one of the first figures I ever reviewed on my channel. So he holds a special place in my heart. But, like, what the heck, Jazwares? He's so old at this point. Like, and you couldn't have done, like, a shiny version, I don't know, like a megaphone, like some kind of different version of Charizard. You just release, so annoying. But what's awesome about this pack was my buddy, who you guys have seen on the channel before, Jake, he texted me, he's like, I found this 2-pack for $20. I was like, what? So right after work one day, like that day that he texted me, I was like, yeah. So me and my girl, we drove over to Target right after work, which was like 3 minutes from where I work, and boom, lo and behold, on the shelf, this 2-pack, $20.99. I said, hell yeah! So I grabbed them because these drawings are like $19.99, $20 anyway. So to get both of them for $20, and I already have a buddy who's gonna grab this Charizard for me for $20. So that's what's up. But yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open these bad boys out. So getting them out of the package, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I like them. So I will say, I'm not going to spend much time on Charizard at all, so we'll start off with him. And I will say, getting him out of the package and playing with him for the first time in, like, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, because unfortunately, I don't have all my figures out right now. I have them, in storage, waiting for the right day to bring them all out again. But, he's still really solid. Like, he was a great way to start this line. I mean, the paint on this one is still really solid. I'm not going to go over articulation or anything, but, like, paint is clean. I really like the way that they did the articulation on his head versus what they were doing going forward, and I'll show that with Garchomp because he kind of exhibits that. Obviously, we get the pins in certain places that, newer figures don't have sometimes, but, like, for the most part, he's still a really solid figure. I think he was in my top 10 of that year that he came out, and I still stand by that. Like, for $20, this is an awesome Charizard, and it's a really cool figure, so I'm not upset with this at all. They definitely made improvements along the line, but taking a step back a couple years ago, it's nice to see where they started with, and just, seeing that they started with such a strong outing to begin with is really cool. So, yeah, he comes with a figure stand that's just the one hinge, so you can get him, like, up. It's nice. Well, these figure stands are whatever to me. I'm kind of tired of them, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I said, not something I needed, but definitely happy to get the opportunity to play with him again. But now for some new stuff. Taking a look at Garchomp, he looks great because I did get the basic one from the, like, battle set figure line. But sometimes they use the Select series too. I have no idea what Jazwares is doing with this stuff because they just released Flygon in that basic line, and then Flygon got revealed to be an upcoming Select series. But I like that basic Flygon, so I think that's going to be the first one that I skip. We'll see, because I don't think Flygon needs to be that big. I actually kind of like him being that intermediate size. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But head sculpt looks pretty cool. This is definitely better for Garchomp, especially like a pretty iconic Pokemon like Garchomp. I think it's pretty cool to see that here. So taking a look at his head, he looks great. Really like the way they did that. The eyes look good. You get the teeth and the tongue painted. The little star on the front of his head could be done a little bit better. But I really like the way that the plastic color they chose looks. I'm not a big fan of these licensings. Like this branding being, like, blatantly on there. It says 2023, which is kind of interesting, because we're pretty into 2024, so I wonder if this was slated for 2023 release. But I mean, can't believe it's already on sale too, by the way. These white spikes on his thigh there, they actually are separate pieces that come through the body, which is pretty cool. The toes, on the other hand, are painted along with the nails on the end of his arms. The reds don't match very well at all. Like, this is and I'm usually not a big stickler for that kind of stuff. That stuff usually doesn't bother me. But this red is different than this red, which is different than this red, and this red kind of matches this one. So it's a little all over the place, but not enough to, like, really bother me. Just something I thought I'd mention. Yellow looks fine. You do get his, like, tail. When I was a kid, it never really, like, clicked that he was, like, a shark. Like, he just kind of was, like, Garchomp. Like, he just kind of looked weird and, you know, whatever. But, yeah, he's a pretty good-looking figure. There's no accessories with this line for the most part. It's very rare that we do get accessories, which is a big complaint for this series overall, but especially this 2-pack. You do get the double-hinged one for Garchomp, which that is, like, on the side here. And it's fine. These stands, they're not my favorite because they are kind of big and clunky, but I will say they do hold the figure up. Like, I mean, these aren't light, small figures, but the figure stand is able to hold them up relatively good. Like, you know, you gotta really, like, hit it for it to fall. So I like that. I don't really know why they don't just whatever, but looks good. I actually prefer the hole being there than what they did, like, in the beginning with it being, like, right on Charizard's, like, wee-wee. Like, that's definitely Charizard's cloaca, but, you know, whatever. But I think for this set in particular, this is the first 2-pack that they've done. This is actually the first, unless I'm forgetting something, this is actually the first different packaging at all that we've seen in this Select Series. Like, since the beginning, it has been that almost cuboidal box of just one solid figure with the stand in there. And I think the only time we've seen accessories are with Samurai and with the Greninja. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody else has had accessories. I'm really thinking. I don't think they did. I don't think there was accessories for almost anybody else. And I think if you're going to do a 2-pack venture for the original price that this was, which was a little over $40, a flame effect would have been nice for Charizard. I would have loved that. That would have made it so much better. And maybe like a slashing effect for Garchomp, because I'm willing to bet we're going to get a single release of Garchomp. I'd be pretty upset with the line if the only way you could get Garchomp was vicariously through the 2-pack. That would suck, but I don't think they're going to do that. So taking a look at the articulation, and this is where the big problems with this figure come in, and we'll talk about it. So the head looks up perfectly. That is like a straight way up, straight way down. I like that. And the mouth does open as much as it needs to. I'm fine with that. But this is where it pisses me off, because and it's actually kind of cool to have Charizard here to demonstrate this. You started off the line with having a hinge. Look at that. Look at that movement. It doesn't look that bad. It's not ugly. You can get him to look down, and you can rotate all around. That's nice. This ball joint at the neck, you can kind of look up and down pretty good, but why can it not rotate? I don't understand that. Like, he can't really look to the side at all, which, you know, this is better than nothing, but there's really no reasons why he can't, like, spin his whole head around at all, or, like, 360. I don't get that. And then they did the shoulders kind of weird, because they sculpted the shoulder, and then they put a hinge on, like, more of his bicep than, like, his actual shoulder, but then also gave him an elbow that rotates. I'm fine with that, to be honest. I mean, he's got a weird body type, and it's nice that he does have the, like, bladed forearms, and in that they are, you know, able to be slicing and dicing. I like that. That's fine. But what I really don't like is the same thing with the torso as this neck piece. It only hinges. Why can this not rotate? Like, I want to be able to, like, lean him forward, rotate, and be able to, like, cut through an opponent, right? Like, slash is, like, one of his big moves. That would be really, really cool. But you can't get, you can kind of mimic the effect, but not the way I want to. There's no reason this couldn't be so much more dynamic than it is. And then same with the legs. Like, this looks a little gappy. I don't think they need to go this crazy, but like, you had the hinge in there and it rotates and you still get pretty good articulation. Get off. This one just kind of rotates. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here. And then the stifle, you do get a hinge that does swivel. I like that. I do like that we're getting like a big ball hinge, or like just a hinge joint here for the ankle. I guess that's the ankle. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Pokemon anatomy. Maybe it's stifle. I don't know. But it, or this is stifle. This hawk. I guess it would be a hawk. I don't know. Whatever. But I like that. And it kind of rotates. Not really. I do wish that it rotated a little bit more. You can get them to kind of rotate, but whatever. And then at the toes or the pastern, or whatever you want to call it, you do get a hinge. So the leg articulation and the arm articulation is acceptable. I don't love it. I think it could have been done a little bit better. But then this is stupid. What even is the point of this joint here? It can't hinge, and it can't rotate. And then you get a hinge here, and it doesn't rotate. Why? Like, what does this afford? I don't understand that. Like, this is all the tail can do. Why? Why can this not rotate? I would have loved to be able to spin him around and kind of like rotate his tail and like, but you can't do that. All you can do is this. Why? I don't know. So some things I like, some things that I'm like, that I just like hate. Like, why? The tail sucks. The tail's pretty much pointless, but they still cut the joints like it was supposed to do something. It just doesn't, I don't know. It just does not make sense to me. So articulation in this line is usually pretty hit or miss, but it's so weird, especially considering like how good Charizard was at the beginning, to see this like deterioration in articulation, because this could be a hell of a lot better. Here he is next to the NECA Toys King Kong in the Jazware's Fortnite Series Peely, and as you can see, he is way better in scale. I like having a bigger Garchomp. He looks a lot better in this size. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman and the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men Series Darwin. And finally, here he is next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends What If Series Zombie Captain America. So, you're probably out there wondering, yo, Ant, what are your final thoughts on these figures? And I gotta say, they're pretty cool. It's just really confusing decisions here, I guess, so to speak, because I really do like a lot of the things that they got going on, because I think they look fantastic. I really do think this size is better suited for Garchomp, along with Charizard still being very good. So if you somehow missed getting the original Charizard, which, I feel like Charizard is like this line's Batman, or this line's Spider-Man, or Wolverine, Superman kind of thing. Like, you should always have a Charizard on the market. But the fact that we still haven't got a Blastoise is insane to me. But, whatever. I digress. Whatever. It boggles me. But, getting an updated, or getting a new release of Charizard, it's not something for me, but I can understand it. Garchomp, on the other hand, I really do think, like I said, suits him better to be in this size, but also, they could have done him a lot better. I really don't like the articulation on this guy. Not because it's bad what's there, but it's the potential of what could have been there with easy modifications. And that seems to be a common line issue going forward, as we've seen like a lot of these figures just not having the proper joints that they should with the way that they're cutting them. And I think that that's super eminent with Charizard coming out 3 years prior. So keeping all that in mind, at a price point of $40, but if you can get it for $20, go check it out now. Well, okay, so for $40, I'm only going to give it like a 6 out of 10. I don't really like some of the things they did with Garchomp. I hate that you have to buy another Charizard, whatever. But for $20, that's an easy 10. Come on now, you can sell that Charizard for 20. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd. I post a lot, and TikTok. I post a lot on all of those apps, and I have a great time, and I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know. You coppin'? See you guys in the next one. Peace.
What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.